What's up guys, Omia from iTech Everything, and the Glow Time Apple event from September just got over, and here's everything that's new and that was announced at this event. The event primarily focused on three products: the Apple Watch, iPhone and AirPods. To mark the 10-year anniversary of the Apple Watch, Apple introduced the Series 10 Apple Watch. It's completely redesigned, and while it might not look particularly different from the previous generation, it is significantly thinner, and also I believe it features a slightly more continuous corner radius. The difference really isn't noticeable when you look at it on its own, but when you compare it side by side to a Series 7, 8, 9 or a 6, you really start to see the difference in how thin it is. In fact, I could see the visible difference in the thickness when the presenters were wearing the new Apple Watch. It is significantly thinner, and I think it's going to be a good change. Stainless steel has been replaced by polished titanium, and while it maintains the similar look of the stainless steel model, it's going to be much lighter now because titanium is able to be more durable with the same amount of weight. So they can reduce the weight while keeping the same amount of durability and also the same premium finish. And the titanium thing comes in three colors, and that's slate, a gold and natural. But there's also a new jet black polished aluminium finish, which honestly, in my opinion, imitates the feel and look of stainless steel well enough for most people, to a point where I would just say just go for the aluminium version unless you're looking for a specific color that's only available in the titanium model, or if you really want the sapphire glass, which is only available on the more expensive titanium models. And for the regular standard brushed aluminum finishes, we do have rose gold and silver now, and starlight is weirdly missing. The new watches are also larger in size, which means that the Series 10 is 42mm and 46mm instead of the previous 41 and 45mm. So there's a 1mm screen size difference across the board, but from what I am hearing and seeing online, this difference is much more noticeable than just like a millimeter of a difference. The Apple Watch Ultra wasn't given any new upgrade, so we still get the Apple Watch Ultra 2, but it's now available in a black titanium finish, and they've partnered up with Hermes to bring their bands to the Apple Watch Ultra lineup along with new watch faces. And to match this new black titanium finish, there's a new titanium Milanese loop band specifically designed for the new Apple Watches. And there's also a silver version of that to accompany the starlight version of the Apple Watch Ultra. And the Apple Watch Ultra 2, Series 10, and also the Series 9 from last year get sleep apnea detection, which is a really cool feature. And while we're on the topic of health, AirPods also get some cool health features, and it's mainly about hearing. So AirPods Pro 2 from last year get a new refresh in terms of a software feature that allows you to prevent, detect, and also aid your hearing loss. So it'll be able to warn you if it detects that you have hearing loss based on if you take the test on your phone with a compatible iPad or iPhone. And there are also preventive measures, such as when you wear the AirPods in a loud environment, it'll automatically tone it down to a point where it's good for your ears, but you'll also be able to enjoy everything around you. And lastly, for the aiding part, now AirPods Pro 2 can basically act as full-fledged hearing aids. So if you have AirPods Pro 2 right now, you can, with the help of a software update, instantly turn them into hearing aids. It's nice to see that Apple is bringing these quality of life and incredibly useful health updates to even existing products that are already with people. While there is no AirPods Pro 3 that were announced and AirPods Pro 2 only got a software update, we did get new regular AirPods. We now have AirPods 4 with a slightly tweaked design that Apple calls the best design for comfort on AirPods ever based on a research that they've conducted. And there's also the option for you to get a model of the AirPods 4 with active noise cancellation. And that's right, the AirPods 4 don't actually come with rubber ear tips, so there is no passive noise cancellation. It's purely relying on software for the active noise cancellation, which I think is pretty cool. And the non-ANC version comes at $129, And if you want the ANC version, it's $179 US. The AirPods 4 also come with a new H2 chip that was revealed last year with the AirPods Pro 2, and that enables features such as nodding for answering a phone call or declining it, and also the adaptive audio features such as reducing the sound around you and also enabling or disabling noise cancellation based on when you're talking to someone, or lowering the volume of the music that you're playing if someone starts talking to you. And I think those are really nice quality of life features. And lastly, coming to AirPods Max, this was a really weird update. They got USB-C and a couple of new colors, which I believe are welcome upgrades. But there is no H2 chip, and it's still using the 5-year-old H1 chip, and it still carries over the issues that the first generation of AirPods Max had, such as the connectivity issues, the condensation issues, and the audio quality sometimes not being up to the mark, the noise cancellation being subpar for today's standards, and other issues. I personally think that AirPods Max just aren't it right now. You shouldn't go for them. There are better options, in fact, better options from Apple themselves. You can go for the Beats Studio 3. They might not look as good, but they certainly are better than AirPods Max in terms of sound quality and the features they bring to the table. And you also have the Sony XM5s, which are another great value pair and have actually latest audio technology, unlike the AirPods Max, which are stuck in 2020. No doubt the AirPods Max are good, but they're just not worth it for the price they're asking for in 2024, considering how much audio stuff has progressed ever since 2020. That's about it for Apple Watch and AirPods. And now moving on to iPhone. This year's iPhones were specially introduced with a focus on Apple Intelligence, and they were introduced as being built from the ground up with Apple Intelligence in mind. We did get Craig Federighi coming up on stage, or coming up on the online video, explaining Apple Intelligence to us. Basically a recap of everything that was introduced at WWDC 2024, because obviously not everyone watches that developers conference event in June. So this is a good refresher for anyone who hasn't learned about Apple Intelligence earlier. The new iPhone 16, the non-Pro model, gets a pretty sizable upgrade this year. It has a new camera array at the back, which I believe is also slightly larger than the previous iPhone 15 array. But anyways, the way that the cameras were positioned this year enables for the ability to capture spatial video and for the first time also spatial photos. The ultra-wide camera has also been updated to feature autofocus and also macro capabilities that we've had for a while on the Pro model since I believe the iPhone 13 Pro. The screen is now featuring a more durable version of ceramic shield, and there's an action button that we saw last year on the 15 Pro coming over to the standard iPhone 16 this year. But what's new is this new camera control thing. So it's basically a camera button on the top of your iPhone when you're holding it in landscape. It gives you a button to instantly open the camera, or a tactile button to capture photos or videos and adjust focus or zoom just like you would on an actual physical camera. I think this is going to be game changing for people who use their iPhones as primarily a camera tool, because it's going to enable them to do a lot more things in a more tactile manner. They also didn't really mention this verbally, but the slide included the fact that the iPhone 16 now includes the ability to pause videos while you're recording. I'm not sure if this is coming to older models. I really hope it does, because I don't see why it would be limited to the latest iPhone. It certainly doesn't require the processing. In fact, my 5,000 Indian rupees, which is like $60 Android smartphone, also had that feature like 10 years ago. So I really hope that comes to other iPhone models as well. On a smaller note, there is also a bump in battery life that they've mentioned, and Wi-Fi 7. In fact, I didn't even know Wi-Fi 7 existed, but yeah, we do get Wi-Fi 7 chips on the iPhone 16. And while the iPhone 15 had the A16 chip, the iPhone 16 jumps to the A18 chip that enables for Apple Intelligence, since it features a more powerful neural engine and more RAM for facilitating the ability to run large language models on device. And along with these new performance upgrades also comes improvements in the cooling technology for the phone. And Also, I forgot to mention that the A18 chip also includes the new graphics processor from last year that we saw on the A17 Pro, which means we do get ray tracing on the base model iPhone 16s this year, and Resident Evil and things like games like those are going to come to the iPhone 16 this year as well. The price for the iPhone 16 remains the same as the iPhone 15 from last year, and there are a few new colors. I personally am not a fan of the blue and pink colors this year. They just look too cheap for my liking, but I am a big fan of the new green color. Looks really bold, and I'm glad they finally have white back. Not sure why they took it out last year, and we obviously have black as well. It's interesting that Starlight is not an option again on the iPhone 16. Another Apple Intelligence feature that debuted specifically with the iPhone 16, or at least I don't remember it being featured in June, is the ability to use visual intelligence features. So basically, when you click the camera control button on the iPhone 16 or 16 Pro, you can also head to the visual information page, which basically is a version of the camera which you can point at a restaurant, maybe a poster or a dog to get more information. They showed a demo where pointing at a restaurant gives details about its location, rating, opening hours, menu, and the ability to quickly book a reservation right there. Or maybe if you point at a poster, it'll give you the easy, quick option to add the event to your calendar. Or if you point at a dog, then it'll tell you what breed it is. It is basically kind of Apple's take on what we've had with Google Lens for a while. Then coming to the star of the show, the iPhone 16 Pro. The 16 Pro now comes with two new sizes, 6.3 inch and 6.9 inch. I believe the folds are slightly larger in their physical size, but they have significantly thinner bezels, which is quite impressive. It also gets the capture button from the iPhone 16 Pro, a 48 megapixel ultra-wide camera for the first time, the ability to take spatial photos in addition to spatial videos from last year, and finally 4K 120 FPS recording, which is a first for an iPhone. And it also brings something called cinematic slow motion, which just builds upon the foundation that 4K 120 FPS is laid out. The iPhone 16 Pro gets the A18 Pro chip, which has enabled quite a few more features specifically for the 16 Pro. And that includes the photographic styles that are specifically available on the 16 Pro that are more customizable even after you've taken the photo. Previously, photographic styles would completely, impose those edits onto your photo and you couldn't change them later. But now with the new photographic styles on the iPhone 16 Pro, you can change it later and you have a much more customizable layout with almost professional-like tools. There are also new intelligent audio correction features that you can utilize via the Photos app after you've taken a video. So you can use your iPhone's mic to get much better audio quality, and the demos looked quite impressive. You can turn the audio into studio, cinematic, and there are a few other audio presets that will edit the audio on your behalf. The 16 Pro lineup maintains the same pricing as last year's 15 Pro lineup, and a new desert titanium color replaces the old blue titanium. There's also support for Qi 2 now, up to 15 watts wirelessly, and MagSafe is also much faster at 25 watts. And yeah, that's about everything there is to stuff that was new at the Apple September Glow Time event. Something that really struck me as I was watching the event is that the iPhone X came out 8 years ago. I really just can't believe that. I remember watching that Apple iPhone X event and watching all those reviews like it was yesterday. It doesn't feel like it was 8 years. It's kind of hard to fathom that so many years have passed by already. Anyways, that's about it for this video. I'll catch you soon. I'm really busy with school stuff these days. If you're interested in this thing that you see right here, which is a smaller version of my iMac, I call it the iMac Mini. I just posted about it on my iTech Everything blog. You can check that out. If you're interested in this Vision Pro stand, it's also featured in the same article. Stay up to date with my blog on my website where I'm posting weekly. I'm not able to post as much on YouTube these days because I have a lot of obligations at school and outside at my company, Starlight Apps LLP. Anyways, I'll catch you next time when I do get the time to film videos. And thank you so much for watching.